a dangerous close call on the high seas between a Russian destroyer and a U.S. warship. Those ships coming within feet of one another, forcing the Americans to take drastic action to avoid a disaster collision. Tonight, both sides are trading blame, that near miss echoing the days of the Cold War, with much of the drama caught on tape. NBC's Hans Nichols has the very latest.
Tonight, this image capturing just how close the ships came to a catastrophic collision. As little as 50 feet, according to the U.S. Navy. This video from the deck of the USS Chancellorsville showing the Russian destroyer was so close you could see Russian sailors sunbathing on the deck. The U.S. Navy says the Russian ship accelerated and closed to an unsafe distance. The U.S. cruiser had to execute all engines back full to avoid collision. At the Pentagon, sharp work for Russia.
That behavior is unsafe and unprofessional. We'll have military to military conversations with the Russians.
But Russia's Navy is accusing the U.S. cruiser of crossing in front of their ship and is filing a protest. But today's close call is not the first by Russia. Back in 2016, buzzed the USS Donald Cook, but there were fewer unsafe for most of 2018.
The risk of miscalculation is enormous because these are major military to each other.
The U.S. plans to issue a formal diplomatic protest to Russia, saying that they're violating well-established international norms. Peter?
Hans Nichols, thank you. With the deadline fast approaching, President Trump is leaving Americans guessing he will follow through on his threat to slap tariffs on Mexico, a possible trade war that would affect the price you pay for everything from food to clothes to car. NBC's Kristen Welker is at the White House.
President Trump back from the D-Day celebrations, now facing his self-imposed diplomatic deadline to slap Mexico with tariffs. Tonight saying, quote, there is a good chance they'll make a deal, but if there's no agreement, Mexico will begin paying tariffs at the 5% level on Monday. The president made the tariff threat, arguing Mexico has not done enough to stem the growing flow of migrants. Just last month, more than 144,000 migrants crossed the southern border, a 13-year high.
They shouldn't be allowing people to come through their country from Honduras and Guatemala, El Salvador. And kids are not. They walk right through our country.
Many Republicans have argued against the tariffs, which could raise prices for American consumers on everything from cars to groceries. Today, negotiators from the U.S. and Mexico engaged in a third straight day of marathon talks. Administration officials say there is significant progress, but still no deal. And the president fighting on another front.
She's a nasty, vindictive, horrible person.
Escalating his attacks against House Speaker Nancy Pelosi. She went after him earlier this week behind closed doors, telling Democrats, I don't want to see him impeached. I want to see him in prison. Mr. Tweeting today, nervous Nancy Pelosi is a disgrace to herself and her family for having made such a statement, especially since I was foreign leaders overseas.
And Kristen joins us now. We also got the new job.
Well, Peter, that's right. The U.S. gained 75,000 jobs last month. That's less than expected, and wages can...
Costello's.
ISS has you loud and clear. Welcome on board.
For all the wannabe astronauts, space station is suddenly within reach. A cool $50 million to get there for a third. But then there's the monthly room rate.
It will be $10 a night per. But it won't come with points.
Already, 2 companies are buying up seats on SpaceX rockets expected to fly there next year. While some private assets might be space tourists, others are research or as corporations look to turn a profit.
It's now up to you to use your creativity, your ingenuity, and figure out how you can generate potentially revenue from these pieces.
The commercial trips will help raise much-needed cash for NASA to pay for bigger missions, returning to the moon in just 5 years and eventually landing humans on Mars. But today, President Trump questioned that strategy, tweeting, NASA should not be talking about going to the moon. We did that 50 years ago. They should be focused on Mars. Though just last month, he was all for it.
To be going to the moon, We'll be going to Mars very soon. It's very exciting.
What had been a day to lay out NASA's new mission instead ended in confusion. Tom Costello, NBC News, Washington.
Just hope you don't get a middle seat, right? And there is more drama tonight between the U.S. and Russia, but this time it's over a TV show, the HBO miniseries about the Chernobyl nuclear disaster. Popular with viewers and with critics, but not with Russia, which is now apparently planning to tell its own version of the story. Here's NBC's Richard Engel.
Tonight, Russian television is producing its own show about Chernobyl after this new HBO miniseries became an instant hit.
The core exploded.
Telling the story of the explosion at the number 4 reactor and the workers who battled to save it. And now the real Chernobyl site is seeing its own tourist boom. The miniseries started airing. Tourism is up 40%.
Very surreal being here.
It's in place, but like the other
Officials say radiation levels are now low enough that it is safe, even though no one is allowed to live here for decades.
But I want so badly that it was a risk I was willing to take.
That Soviet nuclear disaster is probably the worst in history.
The nuclear plant exploded back in 1986. Hundreds of thousands were relocated by the UN says 20,000 cases of thyroid cancer can be traced to the radiation. And while the HBO series highlights critical mistakes by plant operators and the government, it's come under fire from some in Russia. The new Russian show will reportedly blame the disaster on CIA sabotage. Richard Engel, NBC News.
Just ahead, the rescue gone wrong. The husband of an injured hiker spun out of control during an airlift speaks out about her frightening ordeal. Also, the price you pay. Walmart taking on Amazon with a new way to deliver groceries into your fridge. And during the dog days of summer, what better place to be than at the movies? Stay with us. Next, the chopper went terribly wrong. For the first time, we are hearing from the husband of the hiker trapped in a spinning stretcher about her harrowing scare. Here's Miguel Almaguer.
You hate to see this.
For the Phoenix Fire Department, it was a typical rescue that quickly spun out of control.
This is really going fast now.
Inside that hoist basket, picking up speed was 74-year-old Cataline. The injured hiker suddenly on a rescue ride that her husband thought could cost her her
life. Dead or alive.
Watching from the ground with stunned firefighters. Metro's at least 150. 2 minutes. Her husband says she fought to stay conscious as crews struggled to slow.
Go watch.
Now recovering. Metros had gone on a hike outside Phoenix when Cataline fell, injuring her leg. Crews decided to airlift the senior citizen, but she became stuck, spinning in the wash.
Hundreds of hoists in the last 6 years, both operationally on these incidents as well as in training. Maybe 2 times that we've seen this type of a spin event.
She was happy to see me. Only first thing she said, I'm glad I'm alive, because she thought she was going to die.
Tonight, Cataline Metro back on the ground after the rescue ride of a lifetime. Miguel Almaguer, NBC News.
Can you imagine?
Up next, groceries delivered straight to your fridge. Back now with the price you pay for groceries. And a major move is its fight for your money. Walmart now battling Amazon by preparing to offer groceries delivered right to your fridge. Here's Gotti Schwartz.
And here we are, in the home grocery delivery wars, promising a future of robots and drones and self-driving cars. A big move by brick-and-mortar giant Walmart that might have pushed the finish line past your curb, past your front door, and straight into your refrigerator. The idea is you order online, and if you're not home, you can watch a live video stream of a Walmart employee coming into your house, opening up your fridge, and stocking your shelves. A counterpunch to Amazon's same-day delivery network, now experimenting with new drones and a delivery service that can leave packages inside your garage, the trunk of your car, or just past your front door. But for Walmart, it might all come down to capitalizing on their nearly 5,000 stores in big cities and small towns acting as delivery hubs.
From a cost perspective, not all that different from delivering it direct to somebody's door because we're able to actually batch the orders.
But skeptics say the biggest hurdle will be addressing privacy and security.
Are they going to be perfect every single time? It only takes one incident to make really a dangerous or spooky or weird experience.
Walmart says their employees will be trained extensively, ready to roll out testing in 3 cities this fall, starting their pilot program by offering it to nearly 1 million of their customers. Gotti Schwartz, NBC News.
That should get you to clean your fridge.